Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you didn't know, now you know, and we are going back to basics. And today we're going to talk about how to use transfer foils with nail polish. There are a couple of things we're gonna need. This is a transfer foil. This one has individual little pictures. You can get them full coverage, but in honor of Shark Week, I chose to use this one. You're also going to need a transfer foil glue. It's often called star glue. It looks like this white school glue type product, but you paint it on white, it turns clear. That's how you know when it's ready. So what I'm gonna do is pick out some of these and cut them out. You can just leave it in one sheet and put it on there, but I want to get the designs that I want to get and not have a little bit of an overlap, so I'm going to cut out the ones that I want. I have already painted my nails. So this is actually from PI Colors. It is called Orion in Reflection. I got this from PBE this year. Very excited. So this is a little sneak peek because those videos have not even started posting. This is just a fancy blue flaky, and I chose to use this one today for this video because it kind of simulates water and the flakies give it a little bit more pizzazz. So let me cut out some sharks. I'll be right back. Alright, I've got my little sharks cut out and here are my nails. We're gonna go ahead and paint on this star glue. I like to do every other nail so I don't end up sticking them all together, and then just do it in like turns. So I'm gonna get it all on here as close to the edges as I can, hang off a little bit on the free edges. That way my little transfers can go all the way off the sides. And then I'm gonna skip and I'm gonna go to this nail. That way I don't stick the two that are next to each other together. You wanna make a thin coat, but not so thin that it doesn't have enough tackiness. All right, so now I'm just gonna let these sit while they dry. Once they turn clear, we'll be ready to put our foils on and rub them in. Now, when you do this, you can leave a perimeter around the glue, but just understand that wherever there's no glue, there will be no stick. This glue is air dry, and it's a bit of a strange thing. So once we put the decorations on and we top coat, we're gonna wanna make sure that we get all the way around the glue and wrap the edges, because it will peel with time if you don't seal it in all the way around. I don't know why it does that, but it does. And if you don't top coat it in at all, your foils will rub off. So make sure that you do. But anyway, I'm gonna let this sit here and I will be right back when they're clear. All right, so they've turned clear. That really didn't take any time at all. I'm gonna start with this nail over here. For this nail, I did pick out this little shark guy, but I'm gonna try and get this little bubble on here with him. So I'm gonna start by putting it over here on this edge. And then we're gonna start pressing it down as we go across. I don't think his bubble's gonna make it. No, it's not. That's unfortunate. So you just wanna make sure you do get this pushed down really well though. Make sure that it does get contact in all of the areas. So now, nails are curved, and so bear that in mind. It's gonna make your foil want to wrinkle to fit around that curve, and so you just wanna make sure that you do press it down smoothly in all directions so that you can get contact where those wrinkles are as well. I like to use this because it's kind of soft, squishy, but you can also use your finger, and that works really well. Now typically when you're rubbing this on here, you can kind of see the color look different where it has contact and where it doesn't, but once you get it all on there, you may not be able to tell the difference. So you just want to make sure that you do get it on there well. I don't think I got the glue very good up around this edge here. Not much I can do about it now. So with this air dry glue, we're going to remove it with what I call the snatch method, because if you go slow, it likes to try and peel up your paint and your glue instead of ripping the plastic off. So I just get a hold of it and then rip it off quickly. So I've taken off my plastic, but I've left my shark. There is a piece here that I don't, oh, I know what it is. I'll say I don't know what that is, but it's a piece of his tail. I wonder if we can patch that in. So this is the part that can be a little bit difficult if not all of it gets picked up. Trying to line it back up and get it on there may not actually be successful, but we're gonna try it. Ah, yes, we got it. All right, so that's pretty good. Now over here, it's off the edge, so we didn't get all of that. Now where that foil was, it's no longer sticky, but like down here on the edges, it is still sticky. And so I'm gonna take this little starfish that I had some leftovers of, and I'm just gonna stick that down here. We're just gonna put a little bit of something else, which you can absolutely do in pieces. If you want to use multiple different pieces of foil, you can cut them off in patches and just apply them individually, as long as it's still on a sticky area. There we go. So now we got a little starfish down there with our shark. Let's do this middle one, which for that, I have picked out old Brucey Bruce. So we're gonna put him on here with his little bubble. And I'm gonna push that down and start rubbing it in all of the directions. He's got some little fish with him. We wanna get those. Don't forget to rub your bubble in. Go all the way down the edges, all the way around the sides, pushing outwards to get around those nail curves. It's okay if not all of it fits, just try and get it as close to the edge as you can. Anything that's hanging off you're not gonna get, but that's all right. All right, I think that's got a pretty good contact. Yeah, so let's grab a hold of it and rip. Nah, we didn't get it. There we go. Now I got it. Sometimes it's hard to hang on to it with the tweezers, especially these pointy ones, because there's not much of a point of contact, but if you have some flatter ones, it might work better. Now we do have some sticky bits down here around the edges, but I think I'm gonna leave it for now. We did get that on there. Now I have this one that I've picked out this shark for. He's a bit of a big one. And I'm gonna try and get the shark and the starfish both on here. I need the paper to bend the other direction though, so that we're not sticking it all on too soon. So yes, we want him to be here, and his little starfish down here looks like it's gonna hang off a little bit, but that's okay. So let's get this guy nice and pressed on here all around these curves. You definitely want to make sure at least under the image is nice and smooth and the whole thing is made contact, so you don't have holes in your image, because that's not ideal. If you're doing this with like a full cover image, then what you'll want to do is paint the underside paint, the base paint, to be a matching color to the full color or full cover image, so that if there are any gaps, they're not noticeable. All right, so that's on there pretty good. Let's see about getting that. There we go. Now I got a piece I can hold on to, and we peeled that up. Didn't get all of it though. It ripped some of it off, but I can get a hold of this over here. There we go. That's a really good transfer. Look at it. You can't see that starfish very much because he's blue, but he is there. That's good. So now we're just gonna take our star glue again and then paint these two nails that we haven't done yet so that we can put their images on. Remember, a nice thin coat. It doesn't have to be thick, and the thicker it is, the longer it takes to dry. So just a nice thin coat. And if you get too much, wipe it off on the bottle, and then wipe your brush off. Wipe your brush off the bottle and then wipe some of that off. Yeah, so that'll take a couple of minutes to dry, and I will be right back. All right, so those are clear. Now for this one, I've picked out this guy and a starfish that goes along with him. So I'm gonna try and get both of those on here. I'm gonna flip it around so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. And there's a bubble also. Alright, so the bubble's on the very end. Starfish is right there. Let's get that dude. His little nose is all the way over here at the edge. Let's make sure we get that rubbed in real well. Alright, and then his fin is back here on the edge. I don't think I am gonna get all of his nose on here, but we're gonna do our best. This bubble is on the very tip. Okay. I've got a little flap here I can grab a hold of, so that's what I will do. And then snatch it loose. Yeah, we got it pretty good, actually. That foil is so staticky. Now, if you were to want to put more like on top, you could always do another layer of glue and stick down more decorations, but I think this is okay. Now for this one, we've actually got two. So I'm gonna put some of this shark up here. And then we've got his friend who's gonna go down here. Let's get these two rubbed in. They are gonna go off of the edges. Now, because these pieces of plastic are gonna cover this whole nail, even though there's gaps, it's not gonna leave any sticky for these bubbles to fit in between them, but I might be able to get them on the edges a little bit, but we can see about that. So, let me rub this one down a little bit more up here. You really want to try and get them in those crevices where you can. All right, and then off. And then down here, off. Perfect. And I'm gonna turn this around. He's got this bubble. I'm gonna see if I can't get it to stick down here. Not so much, no. I guess it's just not sticky enough. That's all right. And this guy, he had one up here. We might be able to get it to stick up here. Let's see if there's any goodness. Yeah, you didn't hear none of that. So I'm gonna try and stick this bubble up here if there's enough to stick. And barely, that's kind of off. All right, well, that's okay. We did get the two sharks on here. There's very little sticky space left. We got all of our little shark nails decorated. There we go, let me get that in the camera. So that looks pretty cute in my opinion. You can definitely see the sharks. So like the back of the foil is kind of like white painted so that it does give more pop and opacity. I really appreciate that. Here's this one over here, looking cute. All right, so now we are going to top coat all of this in. Just gonna zoom this out a little bit. Now, remember as we were talking about earlier, how you wanna make sure you get your top coat really well around it. So just bear that in mind, make sure that you do. I'm gonna start with a big old glob, make sure I get it all the way down on the sides, around the edges. There we go, and then I like to wipe underneath to get off some of that excess. That's how that is. Let me go ahead and top coat these real quick. Okay, now we're gonna wait for those to dry. One thing I did forget to mention is you may want to go in with a smudge-free top coat before you go in with the final top coat. Like the Maniology Aqua Topper is perfect, because sometimes what happens is when your top coat dries, it shrinks and it can crack your art. I'm hoping that does not happen because I completely forgot that that's a thing. It may be less problematic on these since they're not full coverage, but I'm not sure. So we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that these do not crack. So just word to the wise, if you go in with a smudge free, just like you would on top of a stamp or water decal or whatever first, then that can save your art. And it works for transfer foils, but I'm gonna give this some time to dry. And I'm gonna get some photos and we're gonna come back and have a look. Okay, so let's have a little look-see. Here's what we've got. Let me flip this over and adjust this. There we go. So here's our little sharks. I did actually do 2 layers of top coat just to give it some depth and to even out those light lines. You can also mattify if you want to, but I think this looks really, really, really cute. I am a fan. Let me know. Do you like these nails? Have you used transfer foils before? And if not, do you now have the confidence to do so? I am going to go ahead and get you some photos and I will insert those here. Definitely make sure that you hit the like button if you did like this video. The algorithm thanks you and so do I. And make sure you're subscribed. I do post all kinds of helpful videos when it comes to nail polish, as well as reviews of products and fun things. Plus the whole PBE playlist is coming and you want to be here for that. Check the link in the descriptions for my social medias. You want to be following those as well. Sometimes I post things over there that don't get posted over here. And if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a shark or a fish emoji, whichever one you have available to you, so that I know that you made it here. You know the spiel, all that good stuff. But thank you again for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.